Well, hey guys, what's going on? It's Samantha from Lone Crow Adventures, the channel where we talk about all things camping, hiking, and backpacking. Today, we're doing a review on the River Country Products two-person trekking pole tent, the Trekker 2.2. Let's go! So let's start by talking about weight, because oftentimes that is the largest consideration when you're thinking about getting a backpacking tent. This is the two-person tent. It comes in with a weight of 3 pounds. Now that was when I took the stuff sack away. The stuff sack weighs a couple of ounces on its own. Now the River Country website does say that this tent has a trail weight of 3 pounds 5 ounces, so perhaps my scale may have weighed that a little bit lighter, but I find my scale's pretty accurate, so I was pretty impressed that this tent weighed in at 3 pounds, which is definitely a great weight for a budget option. Now the Trekker 2 comes in two options. You can get it with the trekking poles, or you can get it without the trekking poles if you already have your own set. But I was actually pretty impressed with how lightweight these trekking poles are. Each pole, without any mud baskets, weighs in at 6.4 ounces. And it is an EVA foam handle, a nice ribbon grip, and it is carbon fiber. So it's super durable and super lightweight. So I was excited about the quality of these trekking poles as well. All right, enough yammering. Let's get this tent set up. So this tent does come with 8 brightly colored aluminum tent stakes, which is always nice to have a nice bright color just in case you lose one or something. It's easy to spot against the brush. But I really like that they've incorporated this triangular design to the stake. This way it's really going to grip the ground. So the first step in setting up this trekking pole tent, or any trekking pole tent for that matter, is to stake down all 4 corners. And River Country has provided you with a really nice braided strap that's really beefy and strong. So you just take your stake, pop it through the strap, and then push it down, and that's going to hold that secure. Now that we've got the 4 corners staked out, it's time to erect the tent using the trekking pole. And now what I like to do is just take off this little rubber stopper. In fact, when I'm on trail, I don't even use this. This is more so if you're doing road walks and you want to silence this little carbide tip on the end. So you don't even need to bring this part with you on your trip. So we'll just stick that in my pocket. Now they've provided a really nice little grommet, and this fits directly in there. That little carbide tip fits right in there, which is nice. Now they recommend setting your trekking poles to 42 inches for optimal pitch for this tent. Now you'll notice when you go to extend your trekking pole that the metric system appears again, and it's only marked in centimeters. So what I found is about 115 centimeters is the right amount of tension to get the tent pitched initially. And then you may have to adjust that pole either up or down slightly depending on the terrain just to get that optimal level of pitch. So we get 115 centimeters, pop that up in there, and then there we go. Now we do have a guy line right here, and when I stake these out, I don't like to put them directly in front of the tent. I like to put them just a little off center. So I'll put this one off center this way, and then the back one I'll do off center in the opposite direction to give it some good tension. And once you get your trekking poles pitched, there's just 2 more points that you have to stake out, and that is for the rain fly. So there's one on this side and one on the opposite side, and that just provides a little bit more tension, especially in the event of rain, and also allows some venting through the bottom. I just go ahead, adjust it, and bam, there we go. Now, one of the downfalls with all trekking pole style tents is that you have a trekking pole right in front of your entryway. So when you go to set it up, you may find it helpful just to move this trekking pole over about 1 inch to 2 inches from the main zipper, which doesn't affect the tension. And this way it just allows you to get to the zipper a little bit easier. The zipper on this tent operates really well, and we have a Velcro rain guard on the outside. You can see we also have a fully integrated mesh inner with a no-seam mesh, which is going to keep those creepy crawlies out of there and also allow you to vent this tent on one of those hot summer nights and get a nice breeze on the inside. River Country has provided you with a really handy dandy T-tie for holding open the rain fly door. So it's right there, holds it open really nice, so that way you can vent it. You still have the mesh protecting you from the bugs. But if you run into the situation when you're initially loading your gear in here and you want to roll both doors, you'll notice the T-tie is actually on the inside between the two fabrics, and you just have a loop here. So you could tie these loops if you wanted to, but that's kind of annoying. So what I do when I'm loading my gear in here is I just go ahead and I grab a stick and I stick it through there. Quick little hack that's going to hold the door and the mesh open so you can get your gear on the inside. And then once you've got everything settled, you can take that out, go ahead, zip up your mesh, and then zip up the rainfly if you want to. So just a quick little hack for you in case you run into that situation on trail. Pretty generous space on the inside of this tent for a two-person tent. A lot more generous than a lot of tents that I have used in the past. So we have a total length of 7 feet and a total width of 5 feet. So that's 60 inches across, which is really good news if you're backpacking with a buddy and you both like to use 25-inch mats or even 30-inch mats. Oh my God, blow my mind. But I really don't like sleeping on that standard 20-inch backpacking mat. And a lot of the tents on the market are built with that itty bitty little narrow mat in mind. So I really appreciate that we've got a full 60 inches across, so you could use two 25-inch mats in here so you can both sleep super comfortable and then have some space on the side so that way your face isn't going to be directly against the slope of this tent. So it's a great design. The peak height, pretty generous too. We've got 42 inches of peak height. I'm 5'2", if that gives you some reference, and I've got plenty of room in here, and I can sleep in this tent with my wife, no problems. And we just scooch ourselves all the way up here to the front, and we've got lots of room either at the door to store our gear, or if we want to sleep a little closer to the door, throw our packs and stuff behind us so that everything stays nice and dry. So if you're into backpacking and you're into backpacking tents, getting low to the ground to get in and out of your tent is probably not something you're overly concerned about, but the entryway can be a little bit narrow here with this. So if you're a bigger guy or a bigger gal, you might have some trouble, but I can get in and out of here fairly easily. Just pop in, and then same thing on the way out, just pop right out. One of the biggest things that I worry about when it comes to purchasing budget gear off Amazon is it going to perform when the weather gets bad? And definitely, you're not going to be disappointed in the Trekker 2.2. We have a full rain fly that comes all the way down, and it's treated with a polyurethane coating for extra waterproofness. All the seams on the bathtub floor and along the inside of the tent are factory seam taped, and I have not experienced any issues with leaking with this tent. It's been a top-notch product. One of the other really nice things about this tent is that you can get it in a couple of days just by ordering it off Amazon. So I'm going to go ahead and put links in the description below if you want to check it out. So how would I rate the River Country Trekker 2.2 trekking pole tent? Actually, I was pretty astonished by this tent, especially for the price. This tent earns the accolade of 5 out of 5 crows, and that is a rating on this channel that is pretty hard to get because I am critical of this gear. I want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable making a purchase after I have recommended something highly, and I want to make sure that it's going to perform for you the same way that it performed for me. Number one, this tent performs extremely well during the setup, regardless of whether it is windy or raining. It's easy to set up. It's very, very fast. Number two, the zippers are excellent quality. I never had one issue with them snagging or catching or splitting. Zippers are top notch. The other thing I really like about this tent is that it has great ventilation, and that is something that is really important because sometimes your gear can get wet just from the vapors that are expelled from your body during the night. But because it's got those two really nice vents on the side of the tent, it really vents well and you're not going to have issues with condensation. And let's talk about the price. I mean, for around $60 for this tent without the trekking poles, or $75 with the trekking poles, I mean, this is a basement bottom price. And this tent performs just as well as some of those tents that you might pay $300, $400, $500 for, in my opinion. Sure, it's a little bit heavier than some of those more expensive models, but this is a great tent if you're just looking to get into backpacking, or maybe you've been backpacking for a while and you're wanting to dip your toe into the world of trekking pole tents. This is a great first option for you to try out. You're not going to be disappointed in this tent. I really honestly cannot find anything that I don't like about this tent. And in fact, like, I think it's super cute. I mean, I think it's just adorable. It's got this olive green color. It looks woodsy. It fits right in the setting. I just love everything about this tent. So if you want to know some more information about this, go ahead, click the links in the description below, and that will take you to the product page where you can check it out for yourself. But thanks so much, guys, for watching. Until next time, we'll see you on the trail.